I'd like to request Brother Dr. Mohammad Mahbubi Ali to share his experience.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon, respected professor, student, friends, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a pleasure to share with you my experience during my PhD journey at the IIUM, Institute of Islamic Banking and Finance. Dr. Hadi just shared and perhaps presented 10 tips to complete your PhD on time, to the extent that I don't have anything to add. So all my presentation or my sharing session or my tips has been covered by Dr. Hadi, and Dr. Hadi has already shared his success story, how to complete his PhD on time while working. But in my presentation, in my sharing session, perhaps I want to share with you on my failure story on my PhD journey. Dr. Kamula perhaps later will also share with you on her success story. But my sharing session is more looking at my failure story for two reasons. First, I could not manage to complete my PhD within 3 years or on time. At least I have to apply for 1 year extension. But the good thing is that although I could not manage to complete with PhD within 3 years, but God gave me 3 kids within 3 years. This is the compensation from God. The second failure is that Dr. Hadi managed to finish his PhD, but while maintaining his work, his career in his institute, his company, Etika Takaful. Myself is that I have to complete my PhD and sacrifice my job. I quit from my work, my job at the ISRA, International Sharia Research Academy for Islamic Finance, ISRA, and focus in my Mi'raj. ISRA Mi'raj. What is Mi'raj? It's PhD, to reach the highest education degree. Okay. This is the thing that, something that for me, some of sacrifice in my PhD journey. While here I'm a foreigner, and I have a full housewife with 3 kids. At the same time, I have no job. But I took that challenge to resign from my job, from my work, just to focus on my PhD so that I can complete also on time. But I believe that learning from failure story is also important so that you do not make the same mistake like me. I started my journey when I was working at the store as a teacher at that time. So at the first and the second semester, I had to come to class for quantitative, qualitative methodology, research whatsoever for 1 and 2 semesters. At the same time, I have to draft my research proposal. So how did I manage to write while I work? So normally I took 6 to 8 after working hour to start writing on my PhD, on my research proposal at that time, and during the weekend. So I used to leave my family and stay in library. At night I stay in Mahalla just to focus on my research proposal at that time, so that I have something to write. Otherwise, the workload that I had in Israel did not allow me even to think on my PhD. Even at that time, there was a case where I did not touch anything on my PhD for 1 year. For 1 year, yeah. I did nothing for my PhD because the moment you were assigned with many workload, research project, sometimes I had to take care of 7 projects at once, then you forgot everything, especially your PhD. But of course, you didn't forget your wife and your family. But your PhD, you put aside, because if there is a conflict between public work or your organization work and your personal passion, then you have to put aside your personal passion. Then at that time, I just skipped my PhD for almost 1 year, focusing on my work. But at the same time, I had to plan how I could continue with my PhD, because the moment we started our journey, we don't have any choice except to finish it. This is my commitment that I had. In fact, in my screen of computer laptop, I put that wallpaper, your PhD is priority. But in fact, your PhD is always less priority than your job. The challenge that I faced during my PhD, first is to choose the topic. I think Dr. Hadi has already shared with you. For some students, perhaps, they are facing difficulty to find a good topic, a new topic. But in my case, because I am doing research almost every day, and I work in research center, so my difficulty is that to find to choose the appropriate and good topic, because we have so many work, so many research. For me, the good PhD student is that when they decided the topic on their PhD, we have already their interest and background on their study. Otherwise, you are at difficulty. So make sure when you choose a topic, your area of your PhD thesis, this is the area that you have the expertise more than the other area and the other topic. Or perhaps you have already prepared some primary research beforehand, so that you can simply expand from the previous research paper or primary research that you have already prepared earlier. Okay, another challenge that I face is that doing the proposal defense, because some friends told me that don't worry about proposal defense, because your examiner will never read your proposal defense. They are very busy people. They will only ask whatever that you present in your slide. Then I took their advice. I already rely on my slide. Even I didn't bring my hard copy of my research paper, research proposal, comprising more than 100 pages. Suddenly, after presentation, the examiner asked me page by page. See, open page 10, open page 40, 50. I have nothing. I was surprised because I expected that the question is only coming from the presentation slide, not from the proposal defense, from the research proposal that we have already submitted. So never undermine the examiner's business, the examiner's what we call, even the examiner is your friend. Never undermine that they will not read your research proposal. Be prepared, okay? So that you will not face the same problems like what I have faced before. Okay, Viva. How we can complete your Viva? How you can pass your Viva? I totally agree with Dr. Hadi that the examiner is appointed to pass you, not to fail you, unless there is extraordinary situation that make examiner to fail you, they will never fail you. See, for example, of course, if there is substantial plagiarisms, then there is a reasonable evidence to fail your PhD. But as long as you prepare your PhD thesis based on the guideline by your supervisor, based on the guideline provided by the university, then I can guarantee that you will pass viva examination, because the moment your supervisor has already satisfied with your work, at least 90% of your PhD is in your hand. Another 10% is, another 9% or 10% is at the examiner's decision. So as long as you have prepared well and you follow whatever guideline and guidance from your supervision, and the thing that in my case, in my understanding, is that the examiner are the one that know better than you, more expert than you. So please just treat yourself as a stupid people, a stupid student. Meaning that whatever examiner asks you to revise, just do it. Okay, point taken, I will do it. Sorry, I overlooked this one, but I will revise accordingly. However, if the examiner asks you, then you have to respond. Okay, you have to respond. But for other queries, comment, for revision, I think there is no harm for you just to follow, so that it will make your life and your PhD easier to get it. The last thing, I think I already presented more than 10 minutes already. So to cut the story, to cut the long story short, I agree with whatever that has been presented by Dr. Hadi, that the moment you started your PhD, basically you have already your PhD. The time is only a matter. For me, no matter you finish on time or after a time, as long as you finish it, then it is okay for you. In fact, I have created in my first semester of my PhD, together with my classmates, a WhatsApp group. The name of WhatsApp group is PhD on time, but none of us complete on time until now. Okay, so for me, time is only a matter for you to complete your PhD. So no matter you finish within 3 years, 4 years, but not too long, not 10 years. I think it's okay. If you can do your PhD while work, I think it's much better. I feel like that basically to sacrifice my work, because for me PhD is not everything. You cannot just simply put your whole life for your PhD, to forget everything, your job, your family. Sometimes you have to send your family to your country. I think it's not advisable. If you can bring your family here, still serve the community, the ummah, the industry, then it is much better. So that and it will assist you when, say for example, want to collect the data, because the moment you have that network, it is easier for you to send to get that respondent from the industry players. But of course, there are some that feel that it is almost impossible to finish the PhD while working. In fact, one of my co-supervisor at that time said to me, when I was still working while doing PhD, he said that you can, Mahbubi, you can polygamy your wife, but not your PhD. Meaning that the moment you enter into PhD, you have to focus. It is easier for you to polygamy than completing your PhD. It is not my word, so don't be angry to me for females. It is the word of my supervisor. That you can polygamy your wife, but not PhD. And I asked also to one professor at ISRO, I asked, how can we manage to finish our PhD while we are working? Then what was the response? He said that, is there anyone that can complete his PhD on part-time basis? Is there anyone that can complete his PhD while working? So it really demotivates us sometimes, the response from various experts on that matter. So to the extent that I have to decide to resign at that time. Lastly, I quote one of the good statements that most winners are ex-losers who get passionate. With that, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, brother.